the premium small SUV market is getting a lot of attention nowadays. You have rivals like your Volvo XC40, your BMW X1. Today, David has given us the 2022 Buick Encore GX Select front-wheel drive in your Summit White here at Coast Buick Fort Richey. This is just another additive to that premium market. However, we're going to get an all-new turbo engine that's going to give us over 10% more horsepower and almost 20% more torque, so it should move the vehicle pretty good. That's what we're hoping to see. And you're going to get the latest wireless tech. Contemporary and a luxury cabin. Is the Buick going to be the better choice against the rivals? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and we're going to go over all the specs and details, starting now. The Buick Encore GX runs the same platform as your Chevrolet Trailblazer, but it gives a luxury twist. So the grille, you're going to get the gloss black inserts, and you got the chrome that just gives like a nice pinpoint to the Buick badging. Just wish they took the chrome emblem around off. That way it would just really make it more futuristic, the design. I do like the pattern structure and how it goes into your headlight symbol with your LED daylight runnings, going down with your LED fog lamps and an air curtain. I like that it's not a fake vent. Buick did a good job with that. I have to applaud them. And even in the center here, you got the metal look. Ground clearance at 7.5 inches, so the luxury vehicle is going to be able to go over any terrain, speed bumps, and whatnot. It's a small SUV, so the hood, it's going to naturally be small with some lines that just dissipate, which really gives a good luxury touch. The matte black that goes on the trim wraps around your fenders, encasing these 18-inch 5-spoke machined aluminum wheels with painted pockets. A McPherson strut front suspension, torsion beam rear suspension. The luxury premium market is going after a crisp design, and that's what you're getting with these line structures. The matte black is gonna go on the lower door panels, and I like how they give you those aerodynamic yet sculpted lines that just disappear. You're gonna get the chrome on the door handles, you're gonna get it on the top of the window trim, and on the lower, it's gonna be that matte black. Finishing it off with the gloss black into the rear, so it gives that futuristic side profile, and that's exactly what you're looking at. A length of 171.4 inches, wheelbase at 102.2 inches. It's not the longest vehicle, so getting in and out, which you'll see in the ride, is pretty easy, and the fact that everything is still so compact with that wheelbase being that, it should be good for the interior as well. I do like how everything flows into your wraparound taillights. It's a large Buick badging, and I like the setup. It protrudes really nicely, and it really does mimic the Trailblazer with a luxury twist. You will be receiving a dual exhaust style trim. The exhaust is tucked underneath with the silver or metal look, so it really does give a little bit of a difference of flair, giving you that luxury taste. You get the gloss black, which encases your spoiler in that rear window, towing up to 1,000 pounds. So it's enough to take your bicycles to go to the park, and that's what you're gonna do when you're taking a luxury vehicle like this. You're just gonna relax and enjoy the day, going inside to your cargo at 24 cubic feet. There's some storage underneath the floor with a spare tire. The rear bench split folds at a 40-60 split, maxing the cargo to 50.2 cubic feet. The Buick Encore GX is going to have the upgraded engine. It's a Ecotec 1.3 liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine producing 155 horsepower and 174 pound-feet of torque that's paired to a CVT transmission achieving 29 to 32 mpgs, which is more than the smaller engine choice, a 0 to 60 in the mid 9 seconds. It's nothing to be too crazy, but when you're comparing it to your rivals of your Volvo XC40 or your BMW X1, really what I would say is the ride, which we'll get into soon, the exterior exterior looks, interior, and the tech is where it's at. Let me know what you think about the 2022 Buick Encore GX Select as we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test ride. Entering inside the Buick Encore GX at 39.7 inches of headroom, 40.9 inches of legroom. It's a whisper beige with ebony on the door panels, more or less. 10-way power adjustment seats for the driver with a cloth leatherette mixture. On the passenger, it's manual. Heated front seats though, so I guess we can overlook some of that amenities. You're going to have the 8-inch diagonal color touch display. This one does not have navigation. You do have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, Bluetooth connectivity with a dual climate control setting. In the setup here with the gloss black and the metal around it, it does give a more luxury / sporty hip look. And again, premium luxury is what we're going after. So if I'm comparing this to the Volvo XC40, I feel that they're pretty much spot on with the styling. The dashboard, it's simple, it's plain. They have this nice pattern that's gloss covered, and on the side vents, you're going to get the metal look as well. So they really did implement everything pretty much to the T. Even if you're comparing this to your BMW X1, it's going to be very similar with the styling cues. You're going to have 2 USB ports, a 12-volt storage area here, cup holders. You can fit easily 16.9-ounce water bottles. I went a little crazy. I put 2 of them just to show you can fit them. Not a big deal. Probably fit a 32-ounce without any issue. A little tray here. It's still a little bit driver focused, so you have this little cutoff here. That's what I've noticed. In the Trailblazer, it's more cocooned, closed off, and it looks a little bit more friendly, I would say. This kind of says, you know what, don't touch my phone or anything. Stay on the passenger side. For the elbows, it's going to be a little bit more firm too. When you open up in here, you're going to have a little storage tray. Pick it up, it's pretty deep inside. You could probably fit another 3 or 4 16.9-ounce water bottles a long ways. So it is good with that. A leather wrap steering wheel, multi-function. You got the metal look around it, and you got the cross stitch. So I think they did a good job. It feels good looking at the gauge cluster with a 4.2 multi-color display. Now this will go through an array of information, but realistically I would just leave it on your miles per hour, because all the other stuff, it's going to tell you when you need an oil change. It's going to tell you if the tire pressure or you need gas or whatever. It's going to tell you and alert you. As for the door panel, I like that they give you some cut lines. It gives a more segment quality look. One touch up and down for the driver. It's going to have kind of a firm feel throughout the whole thing. That's the only thing that I'm going to have to knock, but if you are comparing it against the Volvo XC40, it's the same thing with the BMW X1. So you're not really going to be getting anything more or less. Storage, you're going to be able to fit probably 4 16.9-ounce water bottles, which in my book is more than the X1. It's about the same, give or take, as the Volvo XC40. Let's see the back seats. For the back seat, 38.1 inches of headroom, which is fine. However, the 36 inches of legroom, I'm completely against the back seat in the position I'd be sitting. I put the passenger seat as far back as you could possibly do. And because it's kind of tight, the cup holders is actually interfering with me relaxing. As you can see, it's very soft for the elbows here. Obviously, on the door panel, back to the firm, you're going to get storage behind both of the front seats. There's no air vents, no USB. The floor is completely flat, so that does help. It's just going to be very tough, I'm going to imagine, to fit me in the center, but we'll get to that. The door panel, I was able to fit a 16.9-ounce water bottle without too many issues. You can fit like a flask. It's pretty much the gist of it. So storage, I mean, you can put your cell phone, if you have a smaller one like me, right here with the grab handle area, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Let's see how I look in the center. Sitting into the center is not going to be as desirable as you would imagine. Headspace, I'm kind of grazing the headliner predominantly because of the light. And leg space, I'm pretty much going to have to just put my legs where the center console is, because I'm completely against both of the back seats, either in the position I'd be sitting or either all the way back. So you would have to adjust them in order to fit 3 people my dimensions. The other downfall is if I was to sit more comfortably, my leg space and shoulder space is taking up a substantial amount of real estate. So it will be tough to fit 3 adults my size in the rear. If you only fit 2 in the back, it's going to be more desirable and you're going to feel a little bit more of that luxury feel, even though they do strip some of the amenities out in the rear, meaning you don't have the charging ports or any air vents, but you do feel the air pretty much all around you fitting too. Windows, they're pretty large, so you don't have any claustrophobic feel, and you can always stretch out just a little bit if you're tall like me to enjoy a luxury ride. Taking the 2022 Buick Encore GX out for our test run. And right off the bat, you're gonna notice that it's a CVT transmission, a 1.3 liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine. Do you hear road noise? I do. I hear a substantial amount of road noise, but again, the price point that you're at, you're trying to get luxury, and that's what you're getting in the interior and for the actual ride quality. It's going to filter out some of the wind noise. However, you're going to hear it through the wheel wells, you're going to hear it through the windows because there's no dual pane windows. As for visibility, you have blind spot monitoring. Smaller SUV, I can see pretty good. There's a little bit of blind spot behind the rear seats, not a big issue. As for dynamics, it's going to be boaty. This is not something for performance driven, not with these numbers. It's around 10% more HP. But when you get a CVT transmission, that doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot. And it's around 20% more torque. But again, CVT transmission. A great example is I did the all-new redesigned 2022 Nissan Pathfinder where they put the 9-speed automatic transmission. You get over a second quicker 0 to 60, comparing that to the CVT transmission, and that's with the same powertrain. Braking on the vehicle, not an issue at all. You can brake easy, and you do sit up pretty good, so that does help as well with the visibility, and the ground clearance is good. 155 horsepower, here we go with the CVT transmission. It actually feels like it kind of throws you back. It's not too bad, and you know what? I mean, I'm passing people. I'm getting up to speed pretty quick. The engine isn't awfully noisy either, so I do like that. They did a good job deadening the engine note. That they did an excellent job because I can't hear it at all. Even when I push the gas hard, I do hear a substantial amount of wind noise though. So that is something to kind of, you know, you put your pros and cons. But the steering, it doesn't feel too light, but it's not too firm either. It's a very luxury to ride. As for brakes, as you can see, not an issue with that. You can pretty much stop on the dime. We're gonna check that turn radius. Doing a U-turn, we're gonna be getting about 2.5 lanes. I had to go over because I don't wanna interfere with traffic, but you can see you get up to speed pretty good. Not too much of an issue because no one's passing me unless they're going past the speed limit. There is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike. Is anything more than that, I'd be buying this vehicle. The 3 things that I like is the price point that you're at, what you're getting with the technology. Wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. You get all the connectivity with that price point. That is an awesome deal. The second thing that I like, you know, Buick, until you drive them yourself, you would never know how smooth their suspension is. It really does glide over everything. It's almost butter smooth. That, I mean, they did a great job. The third thing that I like about it is the fact that you're getting 10-way power adjustments. This price is under $30,000 for the driver's seat, but I don't like that they're giving you manual for the passenger seat. You do get the heated seat, so, you know, take your pros and cons. 3 things that I dislike about the vehicle. There's no power telescoping wheel. When you get into luxury lines, this should be something standard. They do it a lot in the Volvo XC40 and the BMW X1. A lot of them do it, and it's just annoying to me because you're saying this is premium luxury. The second thing that I dislike, a lot of hard materials when we're getting into this line. I shouldn't be seeing or feeling that many. On the elbows, it is super firm. It's like books, more or less, is the best. There's a little bit of play, but not a whole lot. The third thing, give me at least 200 pound-feet of torque, 174 pound-feet of torque. The electric model vehicles that we have in today's time are more powerful than our engine that are combustion based. I don't know, I get it, we're trying to go away from gas consumption, but don't do it where I have to say, you know what, I can't stand it, I want to just get an electric car because it's more powerful. That doesn't make any sense to me. Give me, you know, 200 horsepower or at least 200 pound-feet of torque. But again, these are just some nitpicking things. But otherwise, I mean, the car is pretty fabulous for the price point that you're getting because it's a luxury vehicle. You're going to get luxury amenities, and you're going to stand out of the crowd because it's a Buick line. And you are going against rivals like BMW, Volvo, even Mercedes-Benz. Because the turn radius wasn't so good, I really like to show that, and I was at 2 lanes of turn radius. So it's not too bad. Full throttle with 155 horsepower. And I mean, you can kind of hear the engine, but honestly, it's pretty settle for the most part. And I mean, that's pretty good for a luxury line, because usually you're hearing a noise that some people may not like or might like, but 3-cylinder turbocharged engine, it does good. You get good gas consumption, a large windscreen, and even the rear window is big enough so you can see every single thing. We're gonna take this back to Coast Buick in Port Richey, go over the reverse camera and wrap this review up. Switching to reverse, you do have trajectory. It's a pretty clean screen for the most part. It blocks itself pretty decent too, because you got a little shelf here, and the way everything is structured, it does make it pretty easy for your reversing. I'd like to thank David here at Coast Buick in Port Richey for giving us this 2022 Buick Encore GX Select for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, click that subscribe button, check out the details, the merchandise, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rock.